Welcome back to my texture channel. So in this Kafka entry question session, okay, we are going to focus about one of the question asked on the Kafka consumer side. Okay, it's about the fault tolerance mechanism. Okay, so to understand, okay, how much knowledge the candidate has, okay, on the Kafka with respect to the design. Okay, let's get into the detail. Okay, the question is about, okay, let's say I'm having a topic with a partition having the messages 1 2 3 4 5, okay, and I'm having multiple consumer consuming those messages. Okay, so there's one consumer who is a good, okay, he is a good consumer. He consumed 4 messages and he's processing the 4th messages now. Okay, there's another consumer, okay, he is a bad who is currently processing the 2nd message. Okay, but when processing, like there's some issue and he was, he want to restart. Okay, when he restart, we need to make sure, okay, how can we make sure that he can process from the message 2, which he is supposed to do, right? So that is the question. How can we make sure that he can go and read a message 2, right? The message in the offset 2. Okay, so that is the question. Okay, so before getting into the actual question, we need to discuss about the actual some of the, okay, how uh, how how the message is delivered to consumer. Okay, it's based upon the offset, right? So in the broker side, okay, the broker maintain the offset, okay, consumed by each consumers. Okay, at the topic level, for each topic, for each partition, okay, at the consumer level, what is the offset he is currently processing, and what is the offset, okay, the consumer already committed. So all those details will be maintained on the Kafka broker side. Okay, so with that saying that, okay, we'll see like how the Kafka is maintaining the offset, right? Let's say, okay, there are different ways of committing the offset. Okay, so the default way is, okay, let's say I have a auto commit as a true. Okay, and I'm setting the auto commit time as 5 seconds. Okay, so every 5 seconds I'll be triggering, the consumer will be triggering the auto commit to topic. Okay, so this is one way. Like, let's say the consumer got a message, the first 5 message, okay, and he processed a message, like in like 2 seconds he processed a message. Okay, and after 5 seconds, okay, the consumer will be sending committing the message telling that it processed all those 5 messages. Okay, but the worst case scenario, okay, let's say the consumer already processed all the 5 messages in 2 seconds. Okay, but on the 3rd second the consumer, failed. Okay, like it got killed or crashed. Okay, so what is happened, like it already processed message but it didn't send any commit message back to the topic, right? So as per the topic, those 5 messages are not yet processed, right? So when this consumer or when any other consumer who is going to process this particular topic, he is going to process, again from the message 1, because as per this topic the committed message is still 1, right? Like no message is committed, right? So this end up in the duplicate, right? So that is one of the issue with the auto commit. So this is a scenario which says like there is a possibility of duplicate, right? there is also a possibility of losing a message. Okay, let's say I got a huge number of messages, okay, like 1,000 messages, and I am still processing them. I processed like 500 messages, okay, and after 5 seconds the commit is triggered, okay. So the 500 messages committed to the topic, okay. When the commit is triggered, okay, the commit says, okay, all those 1,000 messages are commit processed, okay, but actually I processed only 500, right? So when process, so what happened, like the consumer processed 500, okay, it is processing the rest of 500, okay. Meanwhile, the consumer committed topic telling that all the thousands are processed, right? So what happened if the consumer crashed now, right? So when it restarts, okay, it will be getting the 1,001 message, right? Not the message between 500 to 1,000. Now we literally lost it, right? So so that's what I'm trying to say. So with the auto commit, if we go by auto commit as true, there's a possibility of, you know, getting processing the duplicate message. Also there is a possibility of losing a message, okay. So generally it is better to avoid auto commit, okay. And you can go with one of these two ways, commit in synchronous or asynchronous. So what is these two? Let's say so what I'm doing, I'm getting 1,000 messages, okay. After each message processed in the database, I will be sending a commit, okay, to the topic to make sure the the offset, okay, the committed offset in topic is in synchronous in sync with what I actually processed, okay. Similarly, like the same way, like I can send a asynchronous commit, okay. So what is the difference between commit synchronous and asynchronous? So in the synchronous mode, okay, for each time for the consumer to process the next message, it need to wait for the reply from the commit, okay. Because if the commit fails, okay, this commit will retry again and make sure the offset, okay, it's committed in the topic, okay. It keeps retrying, okay. So that is one of the pros, that is a plus and minus of having the commit. The plus is, okay, we are making sure that topic is in sync with what the actual message we processed, right? Actual number of messages we processed. But the con is that disadvantage of this approach is, okay, we are losing the throughput, okay. The throughput will be less, okay, because every time the consumer need to wait for this reply to process the next message, okay. So that is a plus and minus of having the commit, the synchronous commit, okay. The asynchronous commit, okay, is what happened, okay. I process on one message 1, so I'm sending a asynchronous commit to topic 2, okay. But but this consumer don't want to wait for the response from the topic, okay. It keep processing the other messages, okay. But so in this case, okay, the plus is, okay, the throughput will be high, okay. But a minus is, okay, in case when committing, if if the commit fails, okay, what happened, like we may be getting, the duplicate message in this case, right? So that is the minus, okay. So these are different ways, okay, how to maintain the offset on the topic, okay. So we have auto commit, we have commit with sync, and we have a commit with asynchronous, okay. So there is also other way, okay, where we can maintain the consumer side itself, we can maintain all the messages processed, okay, and the offset, okay, and the number of messages processed with respect to the offset. Okay, we can maintain all those things on the consumer side. Okay, and we can send that once to the topic. And there is other way, okay, where we can maintain, okay, the status of the offset, okay, of the messages which were processed. Okay, and whenever we go to the topic, okay, we can tell the topic, get me the message from this particular offset. Okay, so we can do that, okay, using the seek method. Okay, the consumer has a seek method where okay, so what actually happened here, okay, so after processing a message, okay, I will be when saving the message in a database, I also saving the status of that message, like the offset also. I'm saving the offset also in the database. Okay, so whenever I go and get the data from the topic, I will be getting the data from the database. Okay, and send a seek method to the topic telling that get me the message, okay, next message from this particular offset. Okay, so that is another way of handling the offset. Okay, so what is this consumer rebalancer? Okay, do okay. So let's say like I have two consumers. Okay, from a consumer group. Okay, in a consumer group I have here two consumers. Okay, and one of the consumer fails. Okay, so now I have only one consumer. Okay, and I have like let's assume like I have a 4 topics, right? So now initially two consumers reading the messages from all the 4 topics. Now I have only one consumer who need from all these 4 topics. So what happened now, the rebalancing happens, like all the topics get assigned to a particular consumer, right? So the rebalance happens. Okay, so before the rebalance, so when the rebalance happen, okay, no consumer will be processing any messages. Okay, so at the same time we also need to make sure, okay, whatever the messages already processed by the consumers, okay, were committed to the topic, right? So let's say the consumer we have a consumer C1 and consumer C2. C1 is processed like C1 got like 10 messages and it processed 5 messages. Okay, in the same time C2 got crashed. Okay, so the rebalance happens. Okay, so now I need to make sure, okay, I am sending the communication to the topic telling that I already processed 5 messages. Okay, and I need to process only the rest of the messages in that particular topic, right? So for that we can make use of this rebalance listener. So whenever there is a rebalance happen, that will trigger this rebalance listener. Okay, where we have methods like upon partition revoke or new consumer added, that will trigger any of these methods, and in that method we can commit the data. We can commit the offset to the topic telling that I have processed 5 messages in this case, right? I have processed 5 messages and already processed, so commit it in the topic. So after rebalancing, when the consumer start reading from the topic, it will be processing from the system message. It won't be starting again from the first. So this is another way of maintaining the offset in any topic. So these are different ways of maintaining the offset. So basically, when this question is asked, you need to ask the interviewer, okay, what about, like, what is the latency they are expecting, what is the throughput they are expecting. Okay, and based on that we need to pick up one of these approach. Okay,